we have written our code to act as a context menu. But when we create a context menu, are we creating one context menu for the entire activity? Let's take a look at the application again. When we run our application, it is true that there is one big view element here and one extra element here, another button here. So there's the list view and the button. And we only registered one element. Take a look. We just registered for the context menu one view, the students list. So we know that if the onCreateContext menu is invoked, it's because it's on the students list. No, not true. You have no idea if someone else, the day after tomorrow, registers another object. And I have no idea if some of the code that I invoke here, passing myself as an argument or doing something else, is registering another view component as a component for the context menu. So it might be that I have this list here, but I have another element today, tomorrow, or in the future that someone registers. And in this situation, I need to be able to know which one of those elements in my view is supposed to display the context menu. So although I registered just one, I, Guilherme, in my code registered just one for the context menu, and it's here, register for context menu, just one object. We don't know for which object it was invoked, because if you take a look at this method alone, because you don't know everything else, we don't know everything else. We have ideas of what is going on in other places in the code, but when we get to a project, we don't know everything else. So because I got to this project and I take a look at this method, I'm not sure for which object is being invoked. And pretty much the same way that we did for the menu here, we had to check if the ID was exactly the same ID. Here, we want to be sure that this menu here is related to our list view. How do I do this? Well, we received the view where this context menu is being displayed. So let's just check. If view equals or get students list, then please display our students list context menu. If it's another object that it's displaying, then you do the else, or you do your switch case. And you can see that this code can grow pretty fast. And again, it's a pattern that you see everywhere, that people just write the code and you get huge methods. Please try to break into small pieces, single responsibilities as much as possible. So right now, what we want to do is just to show the menu if it's being clicked, it's being invoked within the view that we want, our students list view. So let's try to run our code again. So it probably restart our application. We see it's closing the application, killing the application, restart the application, and I'll try to hold here and click remove, and it's gone. Okay, so try to remember with the create context menu true, whenever you have a listener that listens to events in several different objects, you need this kind of pattern of ifs, switches, or switch cases, which is pretty ugly. When the code gets to grow, it's pretty ugly, and it's better to break pieces into smaller pieces, smaller methods, and do something different. So in our case, because this code here is related to the context menu of a specific student, this is the specific student, right? Because it's specific to this student, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract a method for this code. So I'll just do refactor, extract a method, and the name of the method is show context menu for student. So it's much more clear what is going on here. So I'll just remove the final because it's not being used here anymore. So here what it does is it looks up the student and then it shows the context menu for this student. How does it show the context menu for this student? It adds the remove menu, and whenever someone clicks on it, it removes the menu. It removes the student. So notice that it got a little bit better here, but even though it's better, if you add several ifs here, the code starts to get nastier and nastier and nastier. And also here, our class is getting bigger and bigger and bigger with more and more responsibilities. So we try to break it and clean our code, make it better, so it can be easily maintained in the future. So that's one of the steps that we can do. Okay, so now we will move on to edit our students. That's our next step.